having looked at both of your lives a bit, like the different roads you've taken, and I might be wrong here, but it feels to me like the experience that you both have had is doors have opened, doors have closed, but you still always kept going, and now you are where you are with Spitfire Audio, and you're composing music and all that sort of stuff. But how I haven't really written this question down, so it might sound weird, but how how maybe I never know this, but how like achieving success that you two have, how how do you know where you should go and where your focus should be, or you never know? You just does it just it doesn't just happen, I guess.
Oh,
But
yes, it doesn't. It
or it
doesn't just
does,
happen. It doesn't just
right,
happen. But you don't generally know. But
right.
for me, there, I saw something. There are two really weird sources for this. One thing which I read somewhere, which is 99% of people fall away. So if you're the 1% of people who don't fall away, you're in with a much better chance of succeeding at whatever you're trying to do. And
What's
then
that
the
mean? Falling away, by
fall
the way.
away, like give up. They're just like, oh,
Right,
it's
right,
just
right, right.
too much effort, or too hard. And the other thing was, I remember seeing a TV program about a man called William Matthias, who was a composer who wrote organ music, which is why I was interested in. I was an organist as a teenager, and I saw this program about him. I think he was the professor of Bangor University in Wales, professor of music. And he was following him around, and he sat at his desk, and they filmed him, writing. And he said, I have to sit here from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I put my stuff away, apart from when he's teaching, obviously. But he said, some days I will only get one bar in, and some days I might write a couple of pages. But he said, nevertheless, I have to sit here and carry on chipping away, trying to write. And that really stuck with me, because you can't wait for inspiration. You have to sit and chip away at things. And sometimes you feel like you've got nothing done, but the fact that you're prepared to just keep going back to it and working. And I think that when you do that, opportunities appear. One of my big mottos is leap and the net will appear.
Don't I know it?
I've lived like that, haven't I, Christian?
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree, Paul. Yeah, it's a couple of thoughts that I have. I think that we tend to be obsessed with the musings of our inner 5-year-olds. I've wanted to be a composer since I was 5, and both Paul and I have lots of kids between us. And so I've had 3 5-year-olds, and I can safely say when they were all 5, they were definitely not in a position to make a career choice. So we tend to obsess about a fantasy we create when we're, toddlers. And I think being very open-minded is absolutely key. And it ties in with this kind of closed-minded idea of what the idea that you're going to play Wembley Stadium as a headline act. That's the rarity of that actually happening is it's obscenely small. So I think being open-minded to the opportunities that prevail is absolutely key, and you adapt with the opportunities that come. But I think the key thing is you don't learn from success; you learn from mistakes. And I mean, one of the big successes of my life is I'm in a successful partnership with Paul, and we get on. We don't row. We very rarely say a cross word to each other. Paul scolded me once for my terrible customer support, but that's probably about the end of it. And I think that the reason why Paul and I are in a successful business partnership is because we're in 2 bloody awful ones before.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely crucial. So I think being open-minded, and you never really get there. It's always about the journey. So I think that there's a very popular saying in kind of business speak, and that is to follow your bliss. If you don't enjoy the process, just stop doing that process and do something else. There are so many things that you can do that's connected with the music industry, with the film industry, whether it be making samples or recording dialogue. There's loads of different jobs out there. And as I say, we're entering into a golden age. So just be very open-minded about the opportunities. Paul and I, we had great aspirations as composers, but I think both you and I, Paul, understood that Spitfire was a once in a lifetime opportunity and one that we'd really regret not taking by the horns.
Yeah. And we just discovered that we found something that we were really good at and we enjoyed doing, which is making sounds. And we both used to make sounds for, every job that we did.
Yeah.
So it's just an extension of that. It's just a slightly different path.
Yeah, I was saying today to someone, I've actually admitted that I prefer making sounds to making music. But if I don't make music, I have no need to make sounds. So they're fairly intertwined. It just I seem to have commercialized the sound making bit more than the music making bit, but I make both.
Yeah.